Okay, this is PDY. Um, I've done this before, so it's and posted it on hot copper, so it's got all my writing still over it. What have we been saying? Well, we've got our weakness here where we've got this big volume spike. It's with finishing on its low. It's telling you that pros are selling out. We like price going up on volume, but when it spikes like this, then we know something's up, and we know the smart money's in there. Are they buying or selling? Well, it's that bar's full of selling, and the price has come back down. So, and they haven't really come back into the stock in a big way. And then this last rise up has been on very low demand, very low volume, and it's as soon as it's hit the upper tine of this pitchfork, it's just collapsed. So we've got weakness there. We've got a weakness there. We don't have. It's going to take a while for some accumulation or some buying to come back into the stock. So it's probably got to come back down. When did I chart this over here? And yep, so it followed the red arrow down to the reaction line. So those of you who do your forks, these reaction lines are the distance from the first pivot to the base of the fork, and you just measure them out. And in this case, it's created a pivot point when it's hit the reaction line. It's tracked it up, made a pivot when it's hit the where the reaction line and the upper time meet. So that's quite common to see that. So this is a downtrending fork, and it's still trending down, and it's still a weak fork. I had suggested that this was a head and shoulders, but it didn't work out. So, but there's still downside in the stock. What have we got next? QMN, Queensland Mining. Okay, what have we got here? We've got okay, we have our significant volume at the top here, a volume spike. That's your smart money exiting the stock. And then it's just collapsed with no demand. We've had a little bit of buying come back in the bottom, but it's really more exhausted supply. Price has gone up, but on very little demand, and it's just had to collapse. And there's still very little demand in the stock. The significant volume points are, we've got this really long high volume spiking bar here. If I put a support resistance line on the bottom of that, you can see that it's broken down from that. So that's not what you really want to see. Yeah, so that's just try and see where the potential bottom is. We've got this this high volume bar too. Well, we've already got the top there. It's corresponded with this high volume bar there. So if I put that on the bottom, what else have we got? That's probably the main one. So it's I suspect it will keep testing for supply down into this high volume area here. So, and we've also got this downtrending line here, which isn't that good. I'll put a pitchfork on it, maybe we could do that as well. I could do a big one here, but Probably not really going to tell us a lot. Probably something like that at the moment. So it's still trending down. There's no real background strength coming in, we've had this little bit of a low here, but it's more exhausted supply. There's no actual, these guys are sold out here, they're not really present in the stock at the moment. So and it's still going down, and I suspect probably at least to this 8.5 cent line, and then we'll see if we get some sort of reaction there. So that's QMN, Red Emperor, RMP. What have we got here? Well, that looks like it's going up. I've got this little bit of a fork here. It's a good median line. Price is tracking around the median, and it's still doing that. You do have high volume on the up as it gets price, as share price gets sold into, it comes back down, and it it's going up, comes back down, test for supply, up, back, test for supply, up, test for supply. It still looks like it's tracking up. The only thing is, in this last lot, is you've got 3 up thrust bars here on volume, so they're being sold into just the same as they are on these other highs, but that's suggesting a little bit of maybe we're getting close to a little bit of a top. We'll have to see. And also, when price is coming back down, testing for supply, there's a bit too much supply in the stock, but that could be but you do have compressed closes, so the closes are coming closer together and then going up, so that could still be bullish. Well, it's still, while it's in an uptrend, you may as well ride it up. Your high volume bar, well, you do have a high volume bar here, which I've put this line on, and normally you want this price to come in and test that high volume bar, and it hasn't been able to make it. It hasn't been able to make it there at the moment, so that can be a good sign. But anyway, that's going up, it looks like. So just ride it up with that pitchfork. There's not much more I can say about that. Okay, let's Universal Coal. What have I done? Universal Coal, that's about as much data as I have got. Hang on. So that's UNV. Okay, so put a little bit of a pitchfork on it. It's okay, here's your high volume bar at the moment. I've got a top on there, so that's your volume spiking, and it's got selling starting to come into it because it hasn't been able to close. It hasn't closed once above this line after this sell-off, and then prices just rolled over on low demand down to the bottom. It's come back up again, but probably more as a consequence of low supply. There's no real evidence of any strength in there, and then we have volume rising again as we're at the top, and that I suspect is locked in sellers up here exiting the stock. So and we've got rising volume on the top. It hasn't been able to go higher, so that tells you it's being sold into pretty much. That's what I think anyway. Maybe not, but maybe does look like a little bit of a test bar there, but it's on too high volume, and I'm more inclined to think that's got to come back down. It's just hitting too much supply on the top, coming from the left here, and I probably wouldn't be buying it at the moment, and it probably needs to come back, and it'll probably come back and at least to this line here at the bottom of the bar, and then we'll see how we go. But it's we don't have any real background strength, so smart money are absent from the stock here, and I think they've been absent since here. That's where they got out on this spiking volume here, and it's just tracked down, and then it's just gone up on low volume, and now it's struggling on a bit more volume to get over here. So that's I think that has to come down some more. Probably put